What's going on, guys? It's Rupert here. In this video, looks like Ukraine is in trouble. That's right, the country that enjoyed backing by the military superpower of the world may be on its own against Russia. So there's a lot of moving parts in this story, so like, subscribe, and let's jump in. All right, so for 2 years now, and some people find it hard to believe that it's been 2 years, but for 2 years now, Ukraine has been fighting an enemy that everyone thought would roll over them in just 2 weeks. It's been 2 years now, and they still haven't gotten the job done. And this went on in everyone's head. Russia is a second after America for being the best military equipped army in the world. And Ukraine was its neighbor. Everyone thought that it was over for Ukraine. However, with Molotov cocktails in hands and a willpower that refused to be crushed, the Ukrainian people, thanks to the steel nuts that they had, were able to withstand blackouts after blackouts, assaults after assaults from Russia. But through all of that, there was a beacon of hope for Ukraine. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. That was military aid coming in from America. The US has been a lifeline. Without US, Ukraine probably would not be where it is now. US alone provided $47 billion in military aid to Ukraine. This support has been more than just aid, though. It's been the backbone of Ukrainian resistance, enabling them to hold the line and fight against an enemy that seamlessly had endless resources. But now that lifeline is in jeopardy. A political stalemate in the US Congress threatens to cut off this vital support, leaving Ukraine to face its darkest hours yet. Well, now let's talk about why America is slowly backing off on providing Ukraine more funding. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. That's the American debt. Let me remind you guys, the US is currently facing a $34 trillion debt. And that isn't just a number, it's a looming financial burden that affects every decision made on Capitol Hill, including foreign aid. But the reality is, every dollar that's given to other nations is a dollar that could have been used to make America better. It could have been used for things like infrastructure, healthcare, and how about this? Paying off its $34 trillion debt. Now, the interest rates are the next piece of the puzzle, with the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates to a point that hasn't been seen in the last 2 decades. It's increasing the cost of borrowing. And that doesn't just go for American citizens. It goes for America itself. So much so that in 2025, the interest that America has to pay on its debt, the $34 trillion debt, it will exceed the amount that it puts into military spending per year, which is insane. High interest rates also discourage spending and investment domestically, which puts another layer of complexity to funding expansive and overseas aid programs. Now let's pivot to the military aspect of this, the stockpiles, the ammunitions, all of that. So the United States isn't just a bank that gives money out to countries that need them. It's also a military superpower that gives military aid to other countries. It has an arsenal. However, the ever-increasing demands from Ukraine to provide more ammunition and more military aid is putting a lot of stress on American suppliers. And this isn't just about depleting resources because American stockpiles are decreasing to levels never seen before. It's about the capacity to replace them. The US faces a significant challenge in ramping up ammunition production to meet both of its own defense needs and those of its allies, including Ukraine, with the US defense industry putting the foot on the throttle and trying to make as much ammunition and as much military equipment as possible. America really needs to make sure that it doesn't put itself at risk while providing Ukraine more aid. And last but not least, we cannot forget the Middle East. So every day we're taking a step into the direction of war, thanks to the Houthis committing crimes in the Red Sea like it's no tomorrow. It's just an average Monday for them. Not to mention the Israel-Hamas war is still fully in action. And to top it all off, the icing on the cake, fresh threats from Iran to America and Israel. They're increasing by the day as well. Simply put, yes, America is a military superpower. It's an economical superpower. But the reality is that it cannot afford to stretch its military so thin to the point where when they need it in the Middle East, they at least don't put their own people in jeopardy. But guys, put all those reasons together, put it into one, and you'll know why America is not funding Ukraine anymore. And rightfully so. But don't get me wrong, supporting Ukraine is a noble cause. It's a nation asking for help, it's asking for aid, and you should give aid when you have excess. But guess what? America does not have excess. Instead, it has $34 trillion of debt. It has an illegal immigration problem. It has a lot of problems in its own home territory that it first needs to fix. So the active Democratic Party is really at a crossroads, and it must choose between giving aid to Ukraine or putting America first. Let's see what decision they make. One thing is for sure, though, the way that America handles this situation and the way that they make their decision in the next coming days is going to shape how America is seen across the world and how America is going to deal with other conflicts like the one in the Middle East, like the one in the Chinese Strait. But thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on what you liked. Until next time.